Welcome back to the Average Review Podcast. I am your average reviewer, and today we're going to talk about Invincible, the first four episodes of season three. Um, I think the show. I don't know how to say this, but I felt that the show just kind of lost itself a little bit in season three, and I'll go into a little bit more details for sure about that. I think season three to me started off too fast. And this is going for like the first three episodes. I think by episode four, they kind of slow down, but like just to go over it, like, like I don't have to spoil anything, but I just felt like it was being rushed. Like the action scenes were great, but I don't know, like I didn't really care for the action too much. Like I wasn't invested in the story for the action. It's nice to see the fight scenes. It's brutal, it's cool, it's a different type of art style. All of that is nice to see, but I was more invested in the story and I felt like the story just wasn't progressing or it was progressing too fast. I feel like there was a lot that they wanted to do, but due to the fact that like maybe they're only limited to 10 episodes, they kind of put a lot of things together and then they were just like, let's just get this out and let's just get this out of the way. I don't know how other people felt about it, but I feel like episodes one, two through three, like the first episode, I just felt rushed. Like there was just too much going on. It was just too much to keep up with. The story wasn't really progressing, in my opinion. It was just going on, and then it was just like, I don't know. It just felt like he went from like okay with Cecil, and then all of a sudden he's like pissed off at Cecil, and he's gonna like kill Cecil and all of that stuff. And then like the second episode again, like his anger is coming out. He's kind of slowly turning into like the bad version of Mark, or maybe that's the version we're seeing, right? Like we don't even know yet, but I hope not. Um, he's kind of moved on from Cecil now, and he's doing his own thing. What I did like about episode two and three, I believe, is Cecil's backstory of the way he is and who he is and what he does, um, and why he does it. So I think that was pretty cool, like to give us a little idea of his rationality when it comes to all of this stuff and why he does what he does. Why does he give these villains a second chance or like this hero a second chance and stuff like that? So it gave us context, which I think we needed, and I think they did a really good job there. So those flashbacks were proper, but like everything in between the flashbacks just felt rushed. Like I felt like I was just being fed information, and I was just like, okay, like what am I supposed to do with this? And it didn't feel like um, the story again was not progressing. I just felt like the rush storyline between him and Adam, and like they becoming a couple and all of that stuff, and like all the crazy fight scenes and everything, and like everything else that was happening in the background. It was just too much going on, and too much information was being fed. Episode three, if I remember, was like I don't even remember episode three to be quite honest with you guys, but like again, still rushed, I think that's the one where he goes back in time or into the future and he kills the immortal. And again, he is being put into these situations, becoming this type of person. And again, I just don't see why. Like I don't see the reason for it and I'm not understanding it. But then by episode four, I believe that's the story of Omni Man and all of that. Like they kind of do half the episode of Mark and then they switch into Omni Man's escape and everything. I enjoyed that episode because the story seemed a little bit slower. Not slower, but like the pacing was good. It made sense. Things were slowly falling into places properly now, and the story seemed to have like a coherency to it, and it was like pushing the narrative forward. What I liked about it was, by the half of the episode, we switch over to Omni Man and his escape and everything and why he chooses to escape or whatever and all of that stuff. So that was pretty cool. I liked that scene. That was fun to watch. Those fight scenes were fun to. I enjoyed those a lot. So I think overall, so far, I haven't seen episode five and six. I will probably watch them tonight or at some point. And I think the show itself I think it loses, and I think this goes for every show. I think the show itself kind of loses you as an audience member because of how long it takes to come out. Season two took forever, and by the time season two came out, like I kind of lost interest in it, and I just felt like I was just watching it for the sake of watching it. I was trying my best to get into it, but I couldn't. Same thing with, like, season three did come out quicker, but again, it felt rushed. I felt like too much was happening all at once, and I feel like they need to slow that down. Like, I understand maybe you have 10 episodes and you need to condense a storyline, but honestly, the show is so good, you could give me 10 seasons and I'll watch it, right? As long as the story is being told correctly. I think that's what people need to know. And again, like, I don't mean to be rude or anything, but like, like when you compare it to like a first time season of like the Amazing or Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that just came out, they did such a good job with the pacing and the storyline. Like, there's no excuse that other people can't do that either, right? Like, I understand that companies like Amazon, Netflix, whatever, Disney, like, they rush their people and stuff like that, but you also should be able to fight for your vision, right? And if your vision is not being shown correctly, then you kind of lose your audience in that sense. Because when we watched season one, there was a clear point, right? Like, we knew what we were leading up to. We knew that it was leading up to Omni-Man finally being revealed as the bad guy and whatever and all of that stuff. And I enjoyed that thoroughly. Season two, Angstrom Levi, like, he was a good villain, but his story was just being popped in and out throughout the season. There was so much other things happening that you kind of like, it's not that you don't care. It's just like he's a forgettable villain, even though he's considered to be one of the worst villains in the comic book series and stuff like that. So it kind of sucks. Like, I felt like they kind of took away from him as well. And now with season three, like, all I want to see is Omni Man come back to Earth, and I want to see those interactions and how he handles that. On top of that, I want to see the destruction that they keep talking about and all of those things. So for me, it's like these small little things that I think the show needs to work on. When it comes to like the animation style, a lot of people on the internet are still hating on the animation style. I think it's okay. I don't think there's any issues. Yeah, sometimes it's not the best, but it's not the worst either. Like, I think people are just overdoing it too much. And again, I think the issue with the animation style was addressed in season two, when he went to that Comic Con thing, and the guy told him, like, with animation you have to do this and this and this, and there's a lot of things like, you have to cut corners on because you're not getting. Again, if you're not going to pay your animators, then obviously if you're not going to do that, then this is the crap that you're going to get. Like, no offense, it's not crap, but like, this is what you're going to get. And for what we're getting, I still think we're getting a decent amount of good animation. I would definitely wish it was a lot better, but beggars can't be choosers. It is what it is, and I'm still enjoying it regardless. Like, I don't think the animation style is bad at all. I think it's fine. It's okay. Like, it could be better, but it is the best that we can get. Overall, episodes 1 through 4, I would give it like maybe probably a 7 out of 10. Like, I'm not invested fully into it yet. I hope by like episode 5 and 6, maybe I will get invested, which you guys will definitely know. But I really hope that it picks up. But I think for me right now, it's the pacing that's the issue. I just want them to slow down and like give me more story, more emotional moments and stuff like that, than rather just like crazy action fight scenes. We got enough of that. I think what we want to see is we want to see the narrative. We don't need that. Like, the fight scenes are fun, but if you gave me a full episode of just them talking and moving around and like learning and like progressing this narrative with like 1 or 2 fight scenes, I would be happy with that, instead of just consistent fight scenes, and then just random context, and then just random story, and then again fight scene. Like, we don't need that shit. Like, honestly, we're all grown adults. This is kind of like an adult show. Like, we want to see good stories on television. So yeah, so let me know what you guys think. If you think that the season is doing well or it's doing bad, or like they should change things, I'd love to hear from you guys. Overall, again, 7 out of 10. I think they can do better, and I hope it gets to that point. Um, yeah, so let me know, and I'll catch you on the next episode. Have a wonderful day, guys.